Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle have been calling for Fagan's resignation. Now, with 6 weeks left in session, some are looking at what can be done, trying to reform Oregon's campaign finance and watchdog laws.
Our Brandon Thompson live in Salem, getting reaction from lawmakers there about the secretary's resignation. Brandon?
So the main issue for the lawmakers we are speaking with is the fact that Fagan was taking $10,000 a month plus thousands more in bonuses from a company that her office should be overseeing. But even before that, Fagan received tens of thousands of dollars of campaign donations. So those are the issues that state lawmakers are taking an aim at. So Fagan did recuse herself from an audit of the Oregon Liquor and Cannabis Commission that oversees LaMota. Those state lawmakers we are speaking with think it was too late in the process to make a difference, and any audit would have came with Fagan's name on the title page. Fagan held a press conference Monday saying she ended her contract with LaMota. We found that an hour and a half after that presser, her chief of staff resigned. Governor Tina Kotek says Fagan informed her of this decision today and, quote, "I support this decision. It is essential that Oregonians have trust in their government. I believe this is a first step in restoring that trust." In her resignation announcement, Fagan says, quote, "While I am confident that the ethics investigation will show that I followed the state's ethical and legal guidelines in trying to make ends meet for my family, it is clear that my actions have become a distraction from the important and critical work of the Secretary of State's office." In response to this, Representative Con Pham, a Democrat, is pushing for bills to strengthen financial disclosures and campaign finance laws.
Oregon is one of only a handful of states with absolutely zero limits on campaign contributions. So, Oregonians need to know that our elected officials can't be bought by special interests, and campaign limits are just the absolute minimum.
Does Oregon need stronger ethics or watchdog laws?
Well, I think they definitely need to be tightened up. And one of the ways, obviously, we can do that is to ban any outside income. There's no question that the pay needs to be raised. But again, it's not an excuse because people signed up to do this job at that pay and knew what that would be.
Democratic State House leadership refused interviews about this today, but said in a joint statement, quote, "As elected leaders, we know that our work depends solely on our ability to hold the trust of the people we serve and represent." Secretary of State Fagan's severe lapses of judgment eroded trust with the people of Oregon. They go on to say this breach of trust became too wide for her to bridge. So Deputy Secretary of State Cheryl Myers will be holding this post until Governor Tina Kotek announces an appointment to replace her. Those options that we've heard, Representative Janelle Bynum of Oregon City tells me that she has been contacted about that position. GOP leadership says that Beaverton Senator Kate Leiber is also another name being floated. We'll keep you updated. We have not heard a timeline for that nomination, but of course, we'll bring that to you when we know of it. Reporting live in Salem, Brandon Thompson, KOIN 6 News.